Okay, hi. This is Beans. Okay, I am going to move some shit and then try to. Sorry about all the weird noises and shit. Okay, let's see if I can do maybe this. Ooh. Okay. Maybe aim it at my mirror. Could I do it like from here? Still can't see that shit. Everybody, what I am trying to do right now, let's see if I can use this little cup and then angle it. I am trying to set this up so that you can all see how I do. Okay. Okay. Maybe now you can all see. Let me move this deodorant out of the way. I have to be right. I think I can do this right here. Okay. I want to show you. Can I do it? Wait. Okay. Hi. If I can look right at the camera. Hi. I'm going to try to show you all how I cut my hair. So if some of you are wondering how I get my beautiful mullet, what I do when I'm about to cut it, and this is after like about a month of grow out, and I know people are going to be like, don't touch the top. I have to. I don't have a guard that is longer than like 22 millimeters, and I haven't paid for a haircut in years. I do this all myself. So I'm showing you how to do my mullet that I've been doing for a while now. So I tie all my long hair back, and you have to understand that when you're doing DIY haircuts and stuff, you are going to, whether you want to or not, you are going to lose. You're going to lose hair follicles. Not necessarily from the root. It's just you're gonna cut into hair that maybe you don't want to cut. So like what I do. Oh, you can see it from the back. Okay. What I do is just like pin up the hair in the back, out of the way, and then what I have is, I should probably clean this. I don't have any barbicide, but I'm also really not sharing this with anybody in my house. I have a Remington hair trimmer. It is a HC-5015. It's really old. It is corded. If you ever want to plug this sucker in, like say if you're outside cutting hair, just get like a 15 amp outdoor extension cord. Any extension cord actually works. I like to use the 15 amp ones just because I really just don't want to deal with shit breaking down. Okay, so got this. I'm gonna plug this in now. Ooh la la. Okay. So there's that. And then what I typically do, do I have a, yes. So one of my roommates had a bunch of combs that they were getting rid of. Combs are awesome. Wide tooth combs. Fine tooth comb is fine if you're doing like gel and brushing or whatever. I like to take a wash rag, clean wash rag preferably, and just set this on the top of the hair, kind of mush it around, especially from the sides. And what I'm doing here, I'm not gonna cut the top just yet. I'm trying to get all of the hair that I had with the guard. This originally was like 22 millimeters, but it grows out at the top and it looks just really cool texturized. So I'm just gonna start with one side. So it's wet. Once it's wet like that, you can add a little bit more water if you want, just to get, you see how like you can see my line right there. When you're first doing the mullet, when you have long hair on top and you're buzzing it down, use your comb, drag a line like this part the hair and make sure that that line is really nice and sharp. And you want to line it up with the other side, and then you can tie off the hair at the top, set it aside. But because my hair is already short at top, I want to make sure that that line stays nice and tight. So I comb my hair off, and I just make sure that, like, you know, before I start cutting, that my hair hasn't like lost that line over time. Because once this grows out, I don't want it to blend in with the top. That's why I start with my sides. And I also comb down my little sideburns. You don't have to do sideburns if you don't want to. Your haircut is whatever you want. It's your haircut. So what I do with my trimmer, after I have my sides and all my length pulled back away from my head, I go in, let's see if you can see it here. All right. Right behind my ear, right here. And now I'm going to look at the, there we go. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, we're going to take the trimmer and I'm going to run it up along the back, the very, very back of my ear, up to that guiding line. And I'm only going to use the thickness of this trimmer here. That's all I'm going to use. If you want an even wider one, get a wider trimmer. Maybe try doing a couple more passes, but for mine specifically, it's just the wideness of this trimmer. So I line it up right at the back of my ear. Line it up and just run it. I'm going to turn my head really quick. And sometimes you can hold the rest of your hair back so you don't cut into it. But I just literally just go up to that line. Boop. Okay, so once that's like that, you can do another pass. Again, make sure that that trimmer is right. That trimmer's right at the edge of the back of your ear. And just go all the way up to the line. Just make sure not to cut into, okay, make sure not to cut in that line. Once you get it up to there, and again, every single haircut's going to be unique. You're going to have weird like flyaways and all that stuff. Just let it grow out. You're going to have like maybe like a little rooster tail or whatever. Don't worry about it. It's just a mullet. You can glue it down with some gel if you want, hairspray, pomade, whatever the hell you want, spit. So I go in order to keep the tendrils, I tend to be about maybe about an inch and a half above where my ear is right here, like where the ear meets my head. And you could do it at an angle, you could do it flat, but I cut up to that guiding line again, like that, you see? And then just trim off any excess hair. Now, if you like Tank Girl, and you want a very asymmetrical bunch of like flyaways, you can do whatever you want with the side of your head. I'm just showing you how I do mine. So again, I go up and I just very gently, I take my time with this. If you're in a rush, you're gonna have accidents. So, see how nice and tight that looks now? And then, the only reason I do it this width and not longer, because it gets harder to see this back area unless you have like a ton of mirrors all around you. And there are some mirrors that you can get that you can hang that fold out, that you have like so many angles, but then you have to figure out, you know, if you're cutting and you're looking into like a mirrored reversed image of yourself, like how to like move your hand, which takes a bit of practice to get used to. But if you want to do that, go for it. You know, let's see. Sometimes I have to. Alright. We're gonna go all the way up to. So I kind of, when I'm working with this trimmer, got the back done. Okay. I'm going, you know, flat along. And then when I get up to that guiding line, I kind of pull up a little bit right near the actual line so I don't cut into more of my hair. I don't know how to cut hair. I am not a professional. I'm just doing this all incredibly DIY. And for those of you who have like receding hairlines or bald spots, and the front of your hair is balding, right? If you just don't have anything here, you can still do this haircut too, as long as you have stuff on the sides. You could have a skullet. Skullets are in. Like, punk rock, baby. Just do whatever the fuck you want with your hair. I am in full support of that. So, now we're gonna... So the other thing that I do, let's see if I can get... Okay, you see how the hair comes back to where that trim line is? If you don't want it all the way back where here is, and you don't want hair... Because eventually this short hair right here on the back end, this will grow down in front of your ear. I tend to trim it. Right now it looks kind of like a, it kind of looks like a dolphin. I tend to trim it just a little bit more. Let me show you. I tend to trim like about right at the height. Just pull up. There we go. So I just take off that extra little back piece, and that way I have my little sideburns. And if these get too long, I'm gonna turn this off for a second. If these pieces on the side, if they get too long, just pull it out like this and take a pair of scissors and cut vertically and just trim the ends off. And if they're if you have curly hair or wavy hair like mine, and it's curled and it's like fuzzy and frayed and you haven't gelled it down, just get it wet and then cut it while it's wet, and then it'll eventually grow out. Like, you could just gel it and you'll have these little side bang things. So let's try to do what we did here with over here. So now you can see, and again, like I used to take my time rounding it out, and now I'm just fine with it being this, like, you know, shark fin square. It's have to be a square. So that's what I do now. I used to go into this area here, but the problem with going into this area was I couldn't get it right, and I was kind of finding myself going way too far back, and then I would just have like short, and I wouldn't have enough length in the back. And so what I'm trying to do now with growing out the little, you see how like this is growing out? I want it to add to the thickness and the curliness of the back part of the mullet. And also so that when I have a bun or when I get around to braiding it, that I have more to braid instead of it being one tiny little braid. I actually have a little bit more of some hair to throw around back there, because that's the goal. I want to have a braid again, but not have to worry about braiding in all of this length, because when I was in high school, my hair was so heavy and I would get migraines and it just sucked. And I remember there's this one picture of me from like, I don't even have the picture anymore. It was part of my my school identification card. And I had these two big, thick, chunky pigtails, and my hair was like wet and it was still drying. And then I had these, I had just made them. They were like beaded cherry earrings that I made out of like little plastic leaves and like red sparkly beads. And I had made cherry earrings, and I was wearing that, and like I looked like this and smiling with the big chunky hair. It was such a goofy picture. I wish that in high school we all could just not give a fuck about how people treat each other for how we look, because living in a mental prison of people bullying you all the time fucking sucks. I really wish that I had if I had the confidence in high school that I had now, I would have been completely different. Okay, let's do the other side. And this side now. So maybe from another angle, I'm going to just chop my entire ear off. Oh, that's right. So my hair, the hair on, also when you're doing this, make sure to plug your sink and after you're done cutting, what I tend to do is get a little bit of toilet paper. And there's already some water in the basin, but I tend to wipe up. And everybody who shaves in the sink, you need to start pulling the plug up and actually wiping up as much as you can of your hair right after you're done, like the bulk of it, and that way you don't have to worry about clogs. So you do that and just throw it in the trash. You can flush it if you want, but you really don't want to clog up your toilet with hair, so just put it in the trash or burn it or mail it off to your ex. I don't know. Well, maybe don't do that, because if they're a witch, you know, that would be bad. Really soon. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe they'll try to use a spell to try to get your ass back. Especially if it was really hot. Okay, anyways. So again, wait for the water to dispense. Put this on top of the head. I'm just going to do it this way and just wipe it, because I've already gotten the other side. I'm going to take a shower after this. I really do not, it's a sensory thing. I do not like little bits of hair all over me. It's fucking annoying. Okay. So, I don't know what it is about this side. And again, comb is your friend. Get in there with a comb. Add a little bit more water. Slick it down. There we go. And then that way you can see your guiding line. Try to get the length to the back. I'm going to drain the water out. Move that off to the side. Okay. You don't have to use gel, just water. It takes a while to dry, unless it's like a really hot day. Okay. Also, sorry that this video is really long. I like to talk and take my time. If you don't like my format or whatever, maybe if I learn how to edit, I will make shorter videos of how to do my hair. But until then, suck it and deal with it. All right, we're gonna line it up again. I also have gray hairs now. Finally, I'm almost 40 and I'm finally getting gray hair. Ooh. Okay, line it up. Go straight up as far as you can get it. Do another pass. You don't have to have a lot of pressure, and just straight up. Oop. That took off a little bit more, but you see, and I get best results doing it this way. So there's that. And then do like before. When you're trying to match up your sideburns, man, just look forward into the mirror and just kind of cut above where you think that line is, because otherwise you're going to have to go back and back and forth. Cut above where you think that line is. And just go up, 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 up. And then move away some of that hair, and then just look at it. See where it comes, where your brow bone is. And also, our faces aren't symmetrical, so if you don't get it right, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Nobody's probably gonna know, and if they do notice, fuck them, who cares? It is your haircut. So I'm gonna take a little bit more off. And then take a little bit more, like I said, of the back, the hair, of this little portion here. And the cool thing is if you fuck up, your hair grows back. It does. Your hair will grow back. It may not grow back the exact same way, especially if you're older and you're dealing with baldness, or if you're on HRT of any kind and you're dealing with baldness or hair issues. Don't worry about it. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. People who care don't have a fucking life. That's what I say. People who care about how you dress and your appearance and how you cut your hair, They don't have a fucking life, and they need to go get a fucking life. I had that problem with an ex-boss of mine who really just told me to get like a specific look for this job that I had, which this job did not fucking matter at all. I thought it did. It did not fucking matter. It's just a fucking popularity contest with stress and money involved. It's not really fulfilling. So then we're gonna finish up. There's always this like tuft that I end up doing. It goes back and forth and back and forth. But right where that line, so just like I did before, I run it one more time. And then hold my hair back really tight and really pay attention to that upper corner. And just do as best I can to line that up. So that's pretty much it. Maybe, let's see here. I think that looks pretty good, honestly. I think I'm going to keep the top long. For those of you who want to do the method to get it down, I'm going to show you what I do. Let's see if I have. And of course, beans, you did not. Okay, I'm going to have to dig in my, I'm going to make these are all my extra accessories. I need to actually put these in some hot soap and water and actually wash them again and then put them back in the bag. Oh, I have hair clips in here. That's nice. So, that's a taper. Is this it? One of these is it. Yes, 7/8 of an inch for this specific hair trimmer. Now you can get like yourself a wall or whatever big trimmer that you want. You can also use a tiny trimmer. Doesn't matter. Just shave whatever you want. But I like using the wall. This is a, I actually can't tell how big this is. It's probably 2 inches wide, maybe 1 3/4 inches. I don't know. With this, you attach your longest guard that you have. Mine is 22 millimeters, 7/8 of an inch. And what you do, again, tie your hair back, and you're going, I'm not going to turn this on because I don't want to cut my length. You take it, and you, after you cut your sides down, then you drag it out slowly through dry hair until you get to like this back crown portion. You don't want to go all the way back because you don't want to cut all the length off. But you basically take it back and then just keep eyeballing it until you get most of it down, and then just let it grow. I like the way that my hair naturally grows at different paces, and then that way you get that choppy textured look. So let me show you. Now I'll leave this guard out just in case I decide like tomorrow. Just in case tomorrow I decide that the length on the top is like not doing it for me. So let me pull out this. My hair. I'm going to take a shower to take off all the extra hairs that I just created. But also like not a lot of hair comes off. You know, I'm not really trimming too much hair. Come on. Or you can just make a huge messy knot in your fucking hair. And the reason why I do not shave my armpits, if you all are staring and wondering, is because I have not straight hair. I have wavy hair, especially in my protective areas, like say my groin or my underarms, my legs. And I have a history of ingrowns. And let me tell you, the last thing you fucking want in your life is having an ingrown hair, getting infected, and then having, over time, a fucking abscess cyst growing down into your armpit. This happened to my sibling. My sibling ended up having to get a silver thread tampon looking fucking thing. They opened it, drained it, shoved that thing down in there, and gave them like aggressive antibiotics. It fucking sucked. And ever since that happened, I kept thinking about it, kept thinking about it. And I kept looking at, you know, current beauty standards and all that stuff. And the only people who give a fucking damn about shaving all of their body hair off and conforming to some kind of beauty standard are typically people who have money who can do that. And yes, you could do a lot of DIY grooming and hair removal and all that stuff, but honestly, fuck it. I personally don't want to have an infected ingrown hair, so I just let it. If I don't want it as long, I can use a trimmer, but I'm not going to shave it all the way down to my skin. So anyways, this is, I'm just going to use a comb. If you don't have a comb, this brand is Kiss, Kiss. You can get any comb you want. My suggestion is going to like a beauty supply store and getting a package of a bunch of, like a whole plethora of combs. And wide tooth is best for when you're first combing your hair out in the morning. Or if you have curly hair, use a wide tooth comb. They are the fucking best, let me tell you. And then after you get through with this one, going with something finer, you're going to find that you have less knots and you won't yank out your hair from your scalp. So that's that. And you see the shape, right? And then if I don't want it down, I can put it up. And I've been doing this haircut since I was in school, but doing like a half bun situation, like that, like a chignon or something like that. That's it. That's my hair. And yeah, if you want the top to be, you know, a little bit more, you can go down to the skin if you want to on the top. You can do whatever the fuck you want with your hair. You could even do more of a mohawk. You could do spikes, like sections. You can do a dual mohawk on the top if you want. You can do whatever you want. So, yeah, that's how I do my hair. And I just let the back go. If you're worried about split ends or whatever, if you really, really want to take down your split ends, just do it by small sections. And again, cut wet hair from the bottom up to just trim off the damaged ends. I also use a leave-in here. I use a leave-in hair conditioner. I have a few different kinds. It just depends on what's cheap at a store. You can also use pretty much any type of leave-in conditioner or like an oil mask for your hair. But if you have hair that tends to be like mine when it's dry and it becomes like kind of this frizzy, curly, fluffy thing, like you need to moisturize and protect your hair. I can't tell you how much, like, it's really important to do that. And then when I style it, I'll just show you kind of some stuff that I use for styling. I have hairspray and I use cheap. This is Freeze. If you see any hairspray that has like the term freeze in it or ice or anything like that, fuck ice. Use freezing hairspray. The yellow one. What is it? It's not Bedhead. It's made by Schwarzkopf. It's a big yellow can. It's a freezing spray. You can get your Liberty spikes from that. It'll really hold everything up. This Tresemme also does the trick. It's a little cheaper. Aquanet does the same. Just make sure not to make it super wet. Always build, like comb it out, lightly spray, comb it out. Also using a light hair dryer to help dry it if you want to get your hair really nice and hard. I use this stuff. It's Axe. I don't like the smell. I honestly wish that more hair products just didn't have some kind of like perfume in it. Just make the paste without the extra scent. It makes it really hard if you fall in love with a cutie or want to mess around with a cutie that has issues with perfume. Please stop putting perfumes in hair care products. Thanks. It's kind of hard when you get around to hairspray though, because like hairspray it's complicated. But This stuff also has a scent to it. This is that Treasurer. Ooh la la. If you know, you know. This is called Mai or Mei. It's made in Japan. I got this from Wajimaya of Seattle in their like health beauty section. This is covered with a bunch of shit. It's the brand is Gatsby Moving Rubber Loose Shuffle, and they're color coded. So if you need to get a different style, you can get this. This stuff smells like lychee or rambutan. Smells really good. But again, if you have somebody who is not all about sticky stuff or scents, don't use this product. So there's different things with hairsprays and pomades. I'm going to go now and talk about hair products. Okay, we're going to come in from this angle. Okay, so this is the texture. And I'm going to show you how goopy it is. It's very, it's very goopy. So I just take a very small amount when I'm doing the sides. And I pull my hair out and I just go in and mush it in. Go all the way down. Try not to pull your hair out. So that's what I do. And then wink. And it looks like, whap! Knock your hairspray over. You can go over this with hairspray if you want to, but I tend to just use the pomade. So there's that one. And you can also use the top. You can also use this for the top of the hair if you want. I tend to not use stuff that's super sticky. I want something that's like a paste, which is why I like the Axe. Axe is also really affordable, and you can get this stuff at like you can get this stuff at Grocery Outlet or other bargain stores like Marshall's or TJ Maxx, or whatever discount place that says I don't want to. We can't sell this in the store, so we have to sell it somewhere else at clearance prices. I take a little bit, maybe a little less. I have more hair on the top here, but I will do that. I am going to take a shower, but I'm just going to show you before I get in the shower how I apply everything here with my hair behind. So, and also my hair up top is like, I usually apply this dry. You can do it wet if you want a wet look. If you want more of a slicked look, I would use pomade like this, but more, and then comb it and let it sit and like set up, and then hairspray it to really solidify so you can get that wet finish. So the way I've been styling my hair is pulling up on the sides and then just getting it up in the front. And yeah, I can do that if I want. Or what I've been doing is just kind of messing with it until I've been doing kind of like these little points down. And that's kind of how I've been doing it. So you can do that. And then for the pomade paste, if you don't want that goopy stuff, you can still take this stuff. That's too much. You want just the right amount. You can always add more. And then for this side, again, you just go in and mush it in. And this will set up. It'll dry out, and this will be like more of a softer. The problem is like I don't want any of the hair to like spread up and have more than one spike. I just want one spike. So I just do that. And this, I have a cowlick in this side of my hair, so it tends to go wing out. But that's how I do those. And this is pretty much like a done haircut. If I'm doing like a gig, or if I'm at work, or like actually want to have a longer lasting hairstyle, I'll go in, just put your hand under. It'll set the look. It'll harden. It'll create a net for your hair, like Aquanet. This is not Aquanet though. The other hair product that I have that I use is dry shampoo. This is Monday. This is like a brunette, slightly brunette tinted hair shampoo. What it does is if you have really oily hair, say if like you stayed over at somebody's house or if somebody stays at your house and they don't have time for a shower but need to look a little fresh before they go back out into the world, before they can get home and want to look presentable, this stuff is awesome. Always have dry shampoo on hand so that your hair, when you spray it into hair that might have some product like this in it, you can just spray it in. I wonder if I can actually do that. I don't know if I could do it with wet hair, but once this fully dries, if your hair looks just really fucking oily, use that stuff. I also have this product that my roommate gave me. It's called Level 3 Styling Powder Dust, and it's a texturizing matte look hair powder. This stuff is crazy. Okay? Just, you would never think that styling powder would do this. Watch and be amazed. It's crazy. This stuff is fucking crazy. It's really, really good if you want your hair to just be on Viagra. It's crazy. It's like a hair stiffener. It's insane. And again, I had pomade in my hair. The pomade doesn't do this. This is what you're looking at right now, of this sticking up like this, is the powder. This is not the pomade. I promise. This is the fucking powder. Like, look at that. And it will just like stay like this. You don't even need hairspray. It just stays. And like, yeah, and it becomes like really dry and like, it becomes like really hard for your hands to like move through it. But like, look at that. You bash the Stampede in no time. Or the guy from Static X. Or somebody who stuck their finger in a light socket. Broke. Okay, anyways. So, that's my hair. I'm gonna go and get all these clothes that are covered in hair now, and yeah. Also, I don't want to use that. I'm gonna go clean up. Thank you all very much. My hands are now sticky and I need the shower. Okay, bye.